Dominic Mason doing a video review of my code for CS232 midterm take-home exam. The goal of this exam was to create a shape into a linked list and to not use a class file or a header file, to be more exact. So let's go to my code. Here is the creation of my linked list. My linked list is going to be of data type string, and it's going to have a pointer variable that's going to be my link to the other nodes that it's going to create. Here are my function prototypes for my code. I have a draw shape, display shape, draw star, draw space, draw new line, delete nodes, and create new nodes. And the purpose of these draw star and draw space um, is because I'm going to call these functions within the draw shape function. And if I didn't have these functions, it's kind of just a lot of copy pasting the code. So it's better to just create it here now. You will notice that what I need for these functions is a pointer and the reference of the current node. So that's also very important. So let's go into my main function. Here I have the initial setup of the node variables and the creation of the initial node. So here I'm going to create that very first node. I'm going to call it head node, and it's going to be a pointer. I also, and because this is of type shape node, it's automatically going to come with a linked item inside of it. I'm going to set that link item to null pointer. Here I'm going to ask the user what number he would like, and then I'm going to go ahead and call my functions. My draw shape function is going to take the user number. And if you notice, this is the only function that takes the draw shape. Everything else is going to be essentially used off of what data we put into our linked list. So let's go ahead and go into the draw shape function. So you'll notice that our draw shape function needs the address of the pointer variable, current node, which, if you remember, we set right here. And current node is also going to be the head node. So you know that we, as of now, are at the very first node into our linked list. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the cycle. Here I'm going to call create node. So it's actually creating a new node. And then this process puts a space string, technically in this case, since it's not a character, into that newly created node. And then that process just repeats for stars and spaces. I'll go into the second part of my code, and pretty much this process just repeats. Here, it's going to be create new node, and then current item is going to be a space, create new node, current item is going to be a space, create new node, current item is going to be a space. And then here I have my display shape function. So here my display shape function, you're going to notice that while the current node is not the null pointer, and right above that, we set the current node to the head pointer. So you know that we're starting at the very first node that we created. We're going to see out the item of whatever that node is, which right now it's the head node, so the very first data that we put into it. And then we're going to set the current node to whatever the current node was linking to. So that current node was linking to the second node in our list. So now we're going to set that current node to the second node, and this process is pretty much going to repeat until the current node is set to the null pointer, which is the last place that we put it, which you can see is right here. So let's go ahead and run my code. And let's try 7. So one thing I really struggled with, not struggled, but one problem that I noticed I have is I really understand the big picture of things and what the problem really is and how to break it down. Where I sometimes slip up on is actually implementing that and knowing the right tool for the right job. But I feel that just comes with practice in doing these problems more. But after this exam, I did some research on my own because I felt like I really didn't understand it. But definitely after this, I feel really confident with linked lists, and you can say that I love them.